Salve a tutti, sono Riccardo. Oggi l'associazione Il Grillo inizia il suo viaggio in giro per il mondo al tempo del coronavirus. Abbiamo raccolto numerose testimonianze tramite video interviste di nostri amici provenienti da vari paesi della Terra. Sono storie comuni di coronavirus, di paura e di speranza, ma soprattutto sono storie di intense emozioni e di fratellanza. Oggi siamo in Spagna, dove attualmente si sta vivendo una situazione tanto grave quanto delicata. Lei è Andra, ha 33 anni ed è un'insegnante di inglese ad Alicante. A questo punto non mi resta che augurarvi una buona visione.
So probably we can talk about how is the general situation at present in Spain, because I am aware of something, but you know, with the emergency going on here in Italy, it's not so. We don't really have so much news from other countries. At least I don't follow it so much.
Well,
so probably,
I think the situation in Spain now is like it was in.
We have to do the toast. So. We do it now.
No look, in Romanian.
We can think about to fuck the coronavirus. If we can do it.
Fuck it, then don't pour on the computer. Let's not pour on the computer.
Actually, this is a super alcoholic that made my father, and it really punches hard, and it's called when this thing
you're
is
living
going.
The life.
Yeah, I'm going to send this to you. This is the best cure. They're not yet discovered, but this is the best cure.
Yeah, so, send it. Send the package from Italy.
Yeah. So sorry about that, but we were talking about the situation in Spain.
All right. So what? Yes. I think that the current situation in Spain is similar to what it was in Italy 1 week ago. I think there's just like one week of difference, you know. I think in 1 week we will have the numbers that you guys have today.
I hope for you not. This is.
Yeah, but okay. I don't want that. But it's the way things are going, and if they are going to continue the same, and if the government doesn't take any other more extreme measures, they're only going to rise. And in 1 week they're gonna approximately
off the record, but this is.
They're going to reach. So that's how the situation is. Everybody's in lockdown in Spain, but not everybody. On Monday, a lot of people are still going to work, and a lot of people still don't have the proper
safety measures.
The proper.
DPI.
Yeah, those things that you have to wear, like gloves and masks. They don't have the proper equipment to. To fight the infection, the possibility of infection.
At starting here in Italy wasn't that bad. I mean, when all these things started, we after maybe 1 week or more, we can still find those things. But it takes only a week, and we can find no more masks for no more masks. And actually, it's something like an emergency, because it's really finding a mask somewhere.
The buses are still moving, although people say they're empty, but somebody keeps taking the bus, otherwise they would have canceled, all right? Somebody keeps taking public transport when everybody heard on TV from experts, avoid public transportation at all costs. People in Madrid, the capital, which is now thousands and thousands of infected, full of 5,000 infected people, are still taking the metro.
Yeah, but it's Milan. It's I think in Milano it's happening the same. I mean, actually, I read about.
I'm not surprised that every day there are 5,000, 6,000 new infected people, because if people are still doing the same things as before, you know.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, here they just. They keep even here they keep all the machine going. You know, the machine is still going, and they try to. I think that they are trying to save the economy as much as they can. but it's
But it's only going to prolong the quarantine.
Yep.
And that's not
Yeah.
changing it. It's in the end it's worse. So
yeah, probably it's probably this. I mean,
in the long run, the effects are more devastating in the economy and and it kills people. So
yeah, this is. I think so. I mean, when you just understand. I don't know if you had a moment like me, because I started to understand. Okay, now the thing is serious. Like I was talking about, when the first case is just approaches in a village 10 minutes away from here, 5 minutes away from here. I was this feeling okay, now you have to be a little, just be aware of what are you doing, where are you going, and now it's going bad.
Yeah.
That's what the moment when I understand it. I don't know if you have something like this, if you feel something like.
Of course, I remember exactly when this started in Spain, okay? Because you know that David came to visit me, and he left on a Tuesday. And I remember when he left on a Tuesday, which was, I think, 8th of March, something like that.
Yeah.
Or 7th or 8th of March. I'm going to tell you right now.
Probably 7 or 8, because I remember the picture David sent me with the fun.
It was 10 of March.
Oh, then? Okay.
So that was on the 10th of March, and I remember in Spain there were about 500 cases in Madrid. And I remember that nobody gave a fuck about that. People were like,
don't worry, it's the same thing happened here.
People were like, they're just trying to scare us. They're overreacting.
This was
500 cases. Spain has 46 million people. What's 500 cases? Well, so David left on a Tuesday when the airports, everything was open, everything was going on. And I remember that on Friday of that week, things were almost getting serious. Things were like, because the cases were like, I think about 2,000. So things were like from 500, now they were 2,000. But they were all in Madrid, more or less. So we were like, and the next day, Sunday, they declared the alarm, the general, the alarm state.
Yeah, and they take the first measure. I mean, they just lock up everything, like here in Italy. At the very beginning, they just to stop all the Spain.
What they did is on the 15th of March, on Sunday, they said you cannot leave your house without a justified reason.
So you started a little faster than Italy.
A little bit, I think. A little bit, yes.
Probably.
Because I don't remember on which day they closed down the schools. I don't remember, but it was during this week. It was during the same week. So it was between 10 and 15th of March. They closed down the schools first only in Madrid and then in the whole country. And the next step, when maybe one day later, was they declared a state of alarm, and that was on Sunday. And I remember that day because nobody could go, because you could only go out to the supermarket. And everything was closed on Sunday, so there were no supermarkets and there was no work, so people couldn't go anywhere out. And everything was like, everybody was crazy on WhatsApp. Everybody was WhatsApping everybody, like, oh, we have to stay in the house. We have to stay in the house.
Yeah, you have to stay in the house.
And that was the worst. The first day was the worst day, I think, for everybody, because we were all like with a new ideas, like, what? They can't make us do this. This is inhuman. Oh, well, and that it's been like that from that day, which is from the 15th, and today is the 21st. So it's been the same. The only people who had it different were the people that go to work.
Okay.
And now in many companies, they're making efforts, finally they're starting to make efforts, starting from next week, to avoid their employees going to work.
Now, I know that in Spain, I mean, this is a little more dark question that I want to ask you. We were looking, I mean, we are really paying this really much for about death here in Italy, and I know that Spain is something like Italy. I mean, even the death ratio in Spain is really high too. I do not really know how in Spain the hospitals work. I mean, here in Italy, if I get injured,
right now the hospitals are starting to get collapsed. They're starting to get collapsed. There are no more resources, or they have to. It's very similar to the Italian situation, that they have to all choose the patients that they're going to keep in the hospital and the ones that are going to be sent home to take care of themselves.
Sorry if I interrupt you. Today in the TV they show a video of a Spanish woman. Just probably you see it in your news, of just really, just crying on the video because they choose to just not take in the hospital his husband, because he was really so sick that was nothing more to do for him, and she was of course really desperate. And I was thinking that, I mean, here in Italy we are really lucky, because even if you're poor or if you're rich, you don't have this problem. I mean, if you go to the hospital, even if you don't have money, you don't have a house, they treat you.
Why did they not treat her in the hospital? You said because she was too sick.
She was too sick. Then they can do nothing for her. I mean, she was.
Or young, or
no, she was pretty old. I think that he was pretty old, because even the woman was really old. I don't know if I mean, here in Italy they show in the news this thing, but it's really, you know.
I think I don't know. I think that they are starting to have to make these choices, and if somebody's maybe, I don't know, that's tough. But if somebody's too sick, and if they think this person, or if they think there's no way this person can be saved, maybe they have to choose to giving the bed to somebody who can be saved, because they don't have enough resources. I know that the young people. I know the case of one particular person. I not know this person directly. It's a friend of a friend. He was a young man. He was my age, your age, more or less, about 30 something, and he got the virus, went to the hospital, and they sent him back home to take care of himself, because they probably gave him some medicine. But he had to go through the whole healing process alone in his house.
Crazy! Wow, this is really crazy.
With pneumonia, you know, for 10 days. So imagine the worst flu you have, the worst flu you have, and just having to take care of yourself because he was in quarantine. But they didn't have a bed for him. They had a bed only for.
No, this is crazy.
That need that bed more than him. There's just not enough resources. There's not enough beds in hospitals.
Wow, this is bad. Absolutely. I mean,
but I think they sent him home because they knew he wouldn't die. But anyway, I mean, he wouldn't die, but he didn't die because he got over. But you know, having to do that, and that's what scares me. That if I get the virus, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're young. You have your immune system. Go home and
just go home.
Go home. Here's the meds. Here's the antibiotics and the."
I mean, which issue about this pandemic strike you the most? I mean, you know?
Yeah. The numbers of infected.
Really? Okay,
I
you're perfect. You got it
and
with the numbers.
no, yeah, and what strikes me is how fast. It's not the numbers; it's how fast they are growing from one day to another.
Mm.
The rate of growing, you know, because every day they're growing at about 1.5, 1.5 more, you know?
Mm.
And that I mean I know that's how a virus spreads,
Yeah, this is
but
probably.
and that's what's crazy because today, for example, you have 20,000, for example, just a number.
Mhm.
Today
Yes.
you have 20,000, and tomorrow, whoops, 30,000. Or today you have 5,000 new cases in Spain, and tomorrow there's gonna be 7,000, and the day after is gonna be 10,000. The day after is gonna be 15,000, and it seems like it doesn't end.
Yeah, this is true.
How
This is
fast,
true. I mean,
you know, how fast things are progressing, how fast the virus spreads. That's what strikes me the most.
yeah, probably.
And
Mhm.
and how unconscious people still are, even with these numbers. People are still like they're not doing they're not doing, I mean, they're not doing their part. You know, a lot of people are not doing their part. They're leaving the house, they're going out,
Yeah.
taking the dog out,
Mm.
talking. You know, the Spanish, when they talk,
Yeah.
they're fucking idiots. Seriously, I mean, you know, they spit when they talk. They fucking spit.
Yeah. Okay, but.
Come on, people. Calm the fuck down, man. Just keep the distance.
Okay, you don't have to wear the mask. You have to just wear a glass in front of your mouth.
An umbrella. You know what? It's not the people's fault. On the one hand, people are, sorry for saying this, but people are stupid. That's the truth. Okay.
No, this is.
Because we don't have enough information. We're not doctors. We're not scientists. We're not we're not stupid. We're ignorant. Okay. We don't have the not
Yeah.
stupid. Stupid is a strong word.
No,
Ignorant.
but it's the point. I mean, I perfectly understand because.
Okay, but it's up to the governments. That's why people made governments, so that they have the information, and they should be they should be smarter than the people. It's, you know, they should know better, and they should put the rules. And until the
Yep.
governments make you stay at home and don't give you another option, people are still going to be going to work, because I would, if I had a job and my boss would tell me, oh, if you don't come to work, I'll fire you. Oh, fuck. Well, I'll go to work.
Probably I go, yes. But
What
no,
am I
that's.
going to do?
This is
So-
absolutely.
It's the government's responsibility to be smarter than the common people. Because they have the scientists on their side, they have all the information, they have the most reliable information. All right, all we have is WhatsApp, and we have a lot of false information that's running around on YouTube, on WhatsApp, on media.
No.
They know more things, so they should take measures that they're
No,
not.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, every one of us is caught in his everyday life. I mean, I just wake up, I go to work, and I just don't know a lot of things. And I, like you say, I'm stupid in that way, because this is.
We're ignorant. As much as I would like to tell you, oh, I saw this on WhatsApp, so I know. I don't know if the information is true or not. That's another problem, that we don't have enough information.
Yeah.
We don't know how to differentiate between what's real and what's false.
And they're
What's
pretty much
information?
confused, because I, at least what I see here in Italy is just an increasing in the fake news about this thing. I mean,
But
in a moment it was
everyone-
just okay. They just text you something, and you were. I mean,
And it's like, it's a fact. Yeah. You just you find something on WhatsApp, and it's like, oh, this is a fact.
I also
I remember.
I
I remember there was a common misconception, and I believed it because I'm stupid too. I'm people. And it said like this. It said, if you can hold your breath for 10 seconds, and if you don't cough after 10 seconds, you're not infected. Well, that's
These
bullshit.
things come in Italy too. These things come in Italy too.
This information circulated the whole planet Earth in 2 minutes. And everybody was like, oh, let's try it. Oh, good. I can go not infected. Whoa.
No, true. This thing comes out in Italy too.
And that was fake information. Somebody said it somewhere, and everybody was like, all right, let's do it. Of course it's fake. If it were true, then we would have an efficient way to test for the virus. You wouldn't have to wait for 1 week to get the results, which is what you have to wait now.
Yeah, actually here in Italy happened a little different thing, because there was a really much an increase in the trust of our government. I see this, and I noticed that. I mean, we trust more the government. I don't know if in Spain this happened, but it's probably the emergency, the rule of the emergency.
I think what happened since
you tend
this,
to trust the first one you find, but probably.
At least, first of all, I'm not Spanish, so I don't know if maybe the Spanish people trust the government, but if they did, they didn't tell me, because I have a lot of Spanish friends. I have a lot of Spanish friends, and I haven't heard that, because I have a lot of groups on WhatsApp and they're all Spanish, and I haven't heard that yet. I think all the opposite.
Oh, crazy!
Well, the people are angry at the government because a lot of people are getting fired from their jobs, so they're angry. Then the government said that they would bring economical help for people that have been fired. So now the people are more thankful, but I don't see that. I don't see that trust. Maybe I don't know. Maybe talk to a real Spanish person. Okay. Maybe they'll tell you otherwise.
Okay, perfect. I would ask. No, but this is
what has happened. What has happened. I think the same thing happened in Italy. Probably is that the people have come to be more together. People. It's funny because this is the paradox that everybody's talking about. That now that everybody has to stay inside their house and isolated from everybody, and now with all this social isolation, we kind of feel closer together as a country, as a community. People are talking to their friends a lot more often, or they're talking to people they haven't talked to in years, like you. So this virus, it's like this is the bright side. Is like it brought people closer together.
Yeah, it is.
At least in Spain, and I think probably in Italy too.
No, in Italy, it's the same. It's happening the same. I mean, people starting to get pretty close about that.
And to tell you the truth, I'm surprised at the positive attitude of the Italian people, because you have a very positive attitude.
Yeah, we have it. Yeah, absolutely we have it.
Like andrà tutto bene, non so che, which is my name, by the way. Andrà tutto bene.
Irá bien, no? In Spain, irá bien.
Irá bien. Yes, todo irá bien. Todo irá bien.
I think that you are probably I get your point about staying home, but I don't know if you want to say something to us that we are just like you locked up in our homes. But I probably understand that you're going to say just stay in your fucking home.
How do you say in Italian? Stay at home. In Italian?
State a casa.
State a casa.
Perfect, lovely.
State a casa. Bambino, state a casa.
State a casa.
State a casa.
Or if you want to do a better thing, is io resto a casa.
Repeat that. Repeat.
Io resto a casa.
Io resto a casa.
Perfect. Great, absolutely.
So now a lot of people, a lot of environmentalists are saying that this is Mother's Nature payback time.
Yeah, I heard about this thing too. But if you think about it, or everything that is happening, I mean, it's sometimes you think that this thing is like a self-defense of Mother Nature, because you see,
It is.
I was
it is.
thinking about that yesterday, because they published some images about Italy, about the pollution in Italy, just to really drop out after the quarantine.
Same as in
And
Madrid.
those was this map with a huge red dot on the northern Italy, like this, all across the Italy. And right now you see no more red and only a light blue. And
Oh.
it's crazy, because you just understand how bad we are for Earth. I mean,
But too bad, now there's no pollution, but too bad there's nobody outside to enjoy it.
true.
Toast. A
Toast
toast.
too?
To the end of the mayhem.
Fantastic. Brilliant. And yes, I say goodbye to. I just forgot how do you say goodbye to?
Hasta luego.
It's not hasta luego. Hasta luego.
Adios. Adios.
Adios. No, adios.
Adios.
Adios. Hasta luego.
Hasta luego, adios.
And in Italian is?
Ciao.